Okay, I'll continue my video from my testimony. Um, but like I was saying, I wanted to find love from my dad and, you know, feel love because I didn't feel love. I didn't have love in my house with my aunt. She was always overly religious and wanted to be this preacher and swear she had the anointing of God and the love of God, and she just wasn't there. And I remember one time she told me we was having Bible study and prayer, and she never really liked me because I always questioned stuff, and um and she don't like me, and she'll get mad because I say something. She'll say something and I'll give her something. Think, just me as a young child. Um, Me as a young child, I always why? That was my question. Okay, why would you do this? Why would you do that? Why would God do this to such people if He's so loving? And she never really liked that, and she always was so quick to throw me in the room, um, cuss me out, and everything else. And one day, we was having prayer, so she would say, I guess she was caught up in the spirit, so and she gave it a prophecy. And it was like, God's gonna use you. Going to be you are truly going to be an anointed child of God. And why it was so funny that she said that, but she didn't say it in those words. She was like, God's gonna use you, and you're some kind of way she was saying that God is gonna use me in a good way or whatever. So I never really understood what she was saying. But I was like, okay, whatever. And I always had like this nonchalant attitude, and everybody always thought I always had an attitude. In reality, I never did. I was always lonely, a lonely little girl on the inside because my aunt always physically, mentally, um, emotionally abused. I was an abused child, so I always kept everything to myself until all of a sudden I just get mad and I explode. 'Cause I held so much in. So I had a temper problem with all of this. And my aunt would like beat me and just like pull me by my hair and throw stuff at me. I mean, she did let me get on the cheerleading squad. And she was trying to, I guess it was all out of guilt because she started realizing what she was doing to me. I don't know. But she did let me get on the cheerleading squad, which is quite surprising because she wouldn't let me go to birthday parties. She wouldn't let me do anything. But as soon as anybody else asked me, they go to the birthday party or go do something with their friends. We just little kids. She was quick letting them go, but if I asked her anything to go in with, no. So it was quite weird. She allowed me to be on the cheerleading squad, but that's another story. But anyway, she one day my leg was like so swollen because I was a flyer. I was a flyer girl, and my leg was swollen. And she when I came home, I always come home from school or work. When at this time, even when I was working, come home, she was always in this attitude mode where she would just get just whatever she's going through. She took all her anger out on me, and I would get beat for nothing, cussed out for nothing. And my ankle was swollen that one day, and she literally just cussed me out, and I was so angry because I was like, where is my mom? Where's my dad? In the midst of this hell that I'm going through. Nobody really understood me. I was always quiet. And just because I was a quiet girl and I always had like this nonchalant attitude, nothing really bothered me. I was emotionless. But I guess it was because the abuse I went through or whatever. So they never really truly understood me. I was never understood as a child. Even in school, I was always a lonely little girl, just to myself. Of course, the boys liked me because I was a pretty girl or whatever, but I was never really understood. So from the time after I became an adult, I got a job and everything. And she wanted me to quit my job. She's a real control freak, and she wanted to control me really. And she didn't like that she couldn't control me. I was always my own person. I would never let anybody run over me. And she was always telling me I have an attitude. She don't want to deal with me and all this stuff. So as a child, I would stay quiet with a lot of stuff. But as I started maturing and becoming an adult, I stopped biting my tongue. I started letting her know how I felt about certain situations, how she was wrong. And even though, she still felt like she was right, I did get my point across. So when I turned 18, I left the house and I was I became a student in college. I graduated and went to college and everything. And um, what happened? Oh, I had roommates and everything. I started experiencing the party life, you know. I never really was like really into the partying thing. I was always kind of still to myself. I was weird to my roommates, but I was a sweet girl, but still kind of weird because I didn't go out all the time with the girls and I didn't go to the clubs that often. If I did go, it was because they dragged me out of the house to go, or you know, I would be more comfortable to be in my room with the book and my computer, and I was a happy person. You know, so I'll go to school and I'll go to work and I come home and I would eventually go to church on the Sundays I can go or whatever. So at this time in my life, me and my high school sweetheart, I actually have a boyfriend. We fell apart or whatever. So I was just lonely, just so lonely, looking for love. I had this void. I couldn't find love. I wanted to be loved and be loved by someone and be you know, so I started experiencing with guys, you know, and I started meeting different guys. You know, I'm in college, I'm meeting different guys and stuff. After my boyfriend, he broke my heart, so I didn't even care. I got this mindset. I was so hurt by that. So I got this mindset like, bump it. I don't even care. You know, I'm gonna start doing guys the way they do me. You know, I was always a good girl. I didn't do anybody wrong. I was a sweet, loving girl. I always got ran over, and my feelings always got hurt. And you know, I was just like, why me? You know, so I met this one guy. He's a Haitian, and you know that fell through because he actually proposed to me, wanted to be my husband and everything. But I was so young. I was only 19. So I was like, no, I'm not ready for this. You know, I'm not. No. And he was hurt by that, but I knew it within myself. I could not do it. You know. So on top of that, you know, I met other guys here and there. You know, trying to find this love from guys and something to fill this void. You know, I wanted to be love. I want a love that nobody can ever, I never felt. So I ended up running after about a year or so. I ran into my kid's dad and we met and he portrayed himself as this really good, nice guy. You know, I never really, it was weird how we met. You know, it was a coincidence how we met. I don't even want to talk about it, but you know, I met him and wanting to be loved by this guy, and you know, I really was in love. Or I thought I was in love with this guy. Years went down the line, I got pregnant after a couple months of meeting him, whatever, with my son, and we, I really thought I was in love with him. You know, I thought it was just love, sex, and living up under him, and you know, but after a while, I realized, you know, what he was showing me was just a portrayal. But they, you know, the saying you really truly get to know somebody when you live with them, or whatever. So after a couple of years, about 5 years of really dealing with him, and 2 kids later, I realized he was not the guy I thought he was. I wanted to be loved by someone. He always hurt me and did me so wrong, and you know, it was crazy, and I wanted to find love. I wanted to be loved. I realized my dad never really cared about me. I tried to see him, and he really just pushed me out. He didn't want to have anything to do with me. My mom really didn't want to have anything to do with me. I lived with her for like 2 or 3 years, and she treated me like dirt too. You know, and it's like, wow, where is love? And they always talk about God, Jesus, this, but they never showed the love of Christ. I never had love, never been loved. I always was used ever since I was a child, used as a child, used to clean up, used for money, used for this, you know, and my mama used me and my children. Yes, she gave me a place to stay or whether like I left my kids that I moved in with her after I helped her get on her feet and everything, you know, I moved in with her and she was fine with it as long as she had something she can get out of the whole situation. You know, by me living with her, mom, okay, I give you a little bit of rent money from my job. She was fine with that, you know, and she didn't care if I didn't have money or something to give her. She would do me like dirt, you know, and she praised me. When we get around the family and everything, everybody thought that I was her favorite child, but I always stayed quiet because they didn't really know the true story behind what was really going on. You know, she praised me because I did the most for her out of all the children. And all in all, she just used me. And when we get around people, she praised me like I'm just, you know, oh Nitra, that's my, you know, she Nitra this, Nitra that, you know. And I never would say anything, and everybody thought, you know, oh, you her favorite child, you know, and why she always got to pick you out of the rest of them. God, leave my time and stuff already. I gotta do another video. Stay seated, okay?